Welcome back, everybody. It's week 11. Only 1 week to go after this one, if you can believe it. This is the Winter Stitch Sampler Knit Along, and we are working on apple leaf stitch this week. This is a pretty simple stitch. It's kind of weird looking, but still pretty. Very weird, but I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you do too. Before we get into the stitch today, my name is Holly. This is at Yarn's Length, and if you're interested in receiving notifications of next week, which is our last week, and any other content that's posted, maybe our next knit along, go ahead and click the subscribe button. This is apple leaf stitch. It's another lacy stitch, and it almost looks like it's got some crisscrossing happening with these yarn over holes. But really what we're focusing on are these, I guess, what look like apple leaves. Honestly, I don't know what an apple leaf looks like, so I guess this is a good approximation. Or maybe the little bumps that are popping up while working it kind of reminded someone of apples. I'm not sure. So I don't know where the name came from, but I think it's a really beautiful pattern. It is another stitch that I do recommend use something to keep your place, post-it note, highlighter tape, index cards, whatever it is that keeps you on track, because a lot of these rows look the same and a lot of them are the same. It's very easy to lose your spot. Like every other week, I'm going to work a swatch for this pattern, and I am going to be following, there are a few edge stitches on either side. I am going to include those in the video. So either way, you can work along with me and you'll receive pretty much the same instructions. The only difference is going to be the repeat between the garter edge stitches. So like always, our first step is to cast on. If you're working the panel, you're going to cast on 66 like almost every other week. If you are working the swatch, you're going to cast on 28 stitches, and I did already cast those on. Oops. Here we go. So once you have your stitches cast on, we can get started. If you are knitting the panel, the first thing you want to do is knit our setup row. So you don't need to do this for the swatch because it is not a required part of this stitch, but it is required to make sure that this panel is the same number of rows as every other panel. So what you're going to do for the setup row is you're going to knit 4, and then you're going to purl all the way across until you get to the last 5, and you're going to knit those last 5. And what this does is this establishes that garter stitch edging that I showed you on the panel, which is 4 stitches on one side and 5 on the other. And so you'll purl across the middle. This is going to be the same as every wrong side, every wrong side row, which will be the odd rows of the pattern. So that's why I like to do the setup in the beginning, if it's going to be a mirror like that, because then we stay on track with our rows and our sides, and I don't get confused that row 1's on the back or anything like that. So if you are working the panel, pause the video, knit your first 4, purl to the last 5 and knit those. And it's also a good time to put in your stitch markers. This pattern is worked in multiples of 19 plus 2. So each of these will be 19 stitches. So you can count across, do 19, place a marker. So 4, place a marker, 19, place a marker, repeat 19 until you get to the last 5 and place a marker here. Go ahead and do that, and you can come on back when you're done. The rest of us can go straight into row 1, but what I wanted to tell you is we do have a couple runs of stitches in this pattern that are identical. So 4 rows, rows 9, 11, 13, and 15. Well, I guess it's 8 because the back side, the wrong side's also the same. So rows 9 to 16 and 25 to 32 are the same, which is part of why the pattern can get so confusing. You know, you think, did I knit this already? And yeah, you actually did. So just something to keep in mind. I'll give you a heads up when we get to those. Also kind of nice because you know, if you got through 9 to 16, you can get through 32. This particular pattern, I don't remember if I told you, is 32 rows. So we are in for a long video today. And I am going to do the wrong sides off screen. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit less time in front of the computer, but you'll also be able to see how the stitch works. So we're going to jump into our row 1, which is our right side because we did the setup row on the wrong side on purpose. And we're going to start with a knit 5. Every row that we work is going to start with an N5 and end with a knit 4. Or on the reverse side, it's going to start with a knit 4 and end with a knit 5. And that's because that's our garter stitch panel. So you already know when you pick up your knitting the next time and you're halfway through and you start to see this garter stitch, you'll know these are knit and these are knit. And you just have to worry about the in-betweens. To get started with our repeat, knit 4. And then we have some instructions in parentheses. They say yarn over, slip, slip, knit 3 times. So what that means is we're going to do both of those things 3 times. So we're going to yarn over, slip, slip, knit. That's 1. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit. 2. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit. That's 3. So we did the instructions in parentheses 3 times. Next, we're going to yarn over and knit 2 together twice. That's in parentheses, so we do both of those things twice. So yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together. Next, we'll yarn over once, knit 3, knit 2 together. And if you're doing the repeat, you're going to repeat all of that, but I'm not, just did it once. So we're here at the end with a knit 4. So this is row 1. As I mentioned, row 2 and all of the even rows, we're going to be knitting 4, purling across to the last 5, and knitting 5. So you can do that. I'm going to step off screen. Okay, we're back, and row 2 is complete. And so we're moving on to row 3. Going to start with a knit 5 for our edge. And then row 3 begins with a knit 3, simple start. And we're going to yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit. And because both were in parentheses, we do both twice. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit. So we've got lots of increasing and decreasing, but we aren't actually seeing any change in the count because for every yarn over, there's a slip, slip, knit or a knit 2 together. So we're increasing and decreasing, and that's what creates the kind of twists and slants in this pattern. So where am I? Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice, yarn over, knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and then we're going to do this twice, knit 2 together, yarn over. So knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over. We finish with a knit 4 for this row. For this repeat, and then the knit 4 at the very end, which is our edge stitches. So we finish with a knit 8 on the last repeat only. Okay, so here's what we have, and you can see a little bit of lace coming through. Okay, I'm going to work row 4 and I'll be right back. Okay, this is after row 4 is complete, and again, row 4 was a knit 4, purl all the way down to the last 5, knit 5. So the garter stitch panel is starting to show up now that we've done a few rows. So it's a little easier to keep track of which one's a 5 and which one's a 4 and where you're supposed to be. So for row 5, we are once again going to start with a knit 5, and then our first 2 stitches of the repeat for row 5 are knit 2. So we'll go ahead and knit those as well. We're going to yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. Next, we'll yarn over, knit 1, knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together twice, yarn over, knit 3, and then that brings us to the end. So we're just going to knit right on through. If you're working the repeat, you end with the knit 3 and then you start all over again. This is our swatch after row 5. Be back after row 6. This is row 6, and we're going to move right on to row 7. We can actually start to see some lace appearing here. And I'm actually using my computer to follow the pattern, and I'm highlighting the rows with the cursor as I go. So that's another thing you can do if you're working from the screen. I know a lot of folks print out their patterns or rewrite them. That's just something you can do if you're working the way I am. I'm starting row 7 with a knit 5. Uh-oh. When we begin the repeat, we're going to start with a knit 1. Twice, we're going to yarn over and slip, slip, knit. Yarn over and knit 2. Knit 2 together. Slip, slip, knit. Knit 2. Twice, we're going to yarn over, then knit 2 together. Yarn over, and it ends with a knit 2 for the repeat and a knit 4 for the row. One nice thing about this pattern is if you don't have enough stitches, you know you missed something, but one terrible thing about this pattern is you don't know it until 2 rows later because you worked that wrong side row. So one thing I would forget would be the final yarn over before the end of the row. I was so concerned about repeating things in parentheses, and I would just omit that one, and then I'd get 2 rows down and realize, oh, I don't have enough stitches. So pay attention to that, please. I'm going to work row 8 and return. Okay, this is it after row 8. This is the right side, of course, but I just finished row 8. And I'm starting to see some of this scalloping that I'm not sure that I showed you. It is, oops, the right side. There we go. It is not as pronounced on this as it is on other stitches, but there's definitely, you can see, other than my hair being stuck to it, you can see kind of the gentle wave that it creates. It hasn't been blocked. You can block this out, of course, or this, because it is week 11, can be put at the bottom position of your blanket, and you can kind of leave that as a natural scallop and then just do an edge, which we'll cover in week 13 if that's what you want to do, because that's what I did. Okay, so we're moving on to row 9. Row 9 is the first row that is, remember I said we had those 4 right side or 8 overall rows that were identical. Row 9 is the first one of the identical run, the first identical run that we're going to run into. So let's get started with this. Knit 5. And then twice we're going to yarn over and knit 2 together. There we go. Yarn over and knit 3. knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, knit 3 again, twice. We're going to yarn over and slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and then knit to the end. If you are working the repeat, it's a knit 1, and then you start the repeat again until you get to the end and you knit 4. So a lot of these rows, like I said, are very similar. They're all made up of the same stitches and stitch types, which is lovely because you only need to know how to do knits and purls, slip, slip, knit, knit 2 together, and a yarn over, right? So 5 things, I guess that is, to make the pattern. It's just a matter of keeping track of where you are, and that is the real challenge. I'll be back after row 10. Row 10 is complete. We're moving on to row 11. I hope you're taking the time. I head off screen and do the wrong side rows. I hope you're pausing it and following along so that you're working with me each row. But I don't want you to have to watch me do the most basic of rows because you guys don't need that. Okay, on row 11, we're going to start with a knit 5. For the repeat, yarn over and knit 2 together twice. Yarn over, knit 3. Knit 2 together. Slip, slip, knit. Knit 3. Yarn over and slip, slip, knit twice. Yarn over, knit 1 to finish the repeat, knit 4 to finish the row. I'll be back after row 12. Row 12 is complete. For row 13, we're going to begin with a knit 5. Twice we will yarn over and knit 2 together. Oops. Yarn over, knit 3, knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, knit 3, yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice, yarn over, knit 1 to finish the repeat, and 4 to finish the row. I'll be back after row 14. Row 14 is complete. Oof. And now we're getting ready to start row 15, which is the final row of the rows that are going to be worked again later in this pattern. I don't know what to call them. The final right side row of the 4 right side rows that are going to be done twice in each run of the pattern. So here we go with row 15. Is that a bit of a mouthful? We're going to knit 5. Yarn over, knit 2 together twice. Yarn over, knit 3. Slip, slip, knit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Knit 2 together, then slip, slip, knit. And then knit 3 again. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. Oof. Yarn over, knit 1 to finish the repeat, knit 4 to finish the row. I'm going to work row 16 and return, and I'll be back to mix it up with you for row 17. Row 16 is complete. As I said, now we're going to mix it up. I mean, these were essentially, it's symmetrical. You can see this like midrib of the leaf right here. And the pattern is symmetrical. And so now we're going to kind of build the, tip of the leaf. I don't really know leaf anatomy, but hopefully that's pretty clear. We're going to start with a knit 5. Yarn over, knit 2 together twice. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we're officially past the midway point of the repeat. Yarn over, knit 3. Knit 2 together. Knit 4. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit 3 times. And the repeat ends there. Knit 4 to finish the row. So changing it up a little bit. I'll be back after row 18. Row 18 is done. We're moving on to row 19. We're going to start to see some things that don't necessarily look like they make much sense in the pattern here because it's a one-off, but they actually build out. We're looking at only pieces of it. So we're building out the sides of the other repeats. So if you're just doing the single swatch, things might look a little weird for you, but it will work out when you're working the panel. Just trust the pattern and keep going. Row 19, we're going to start with a knit 5. Slip, slip, knit, yarn over and knit 2 together twice, yarn over, knit 7, yarn over and slip, slip, knit twice, yarn over, knit 2 together, and that concludes the pattern repeat for the stitch. We'll knit our last 4 for this row. So this is what we have after row 19. I'll see you after row 20. Row 20 is complete. Whew. All right, we're on row 21. Gonna start with a knit 5. Then slip, slip, knit, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2 together. We'll do that twice. Yeah, okay. Yarn over, knit 5. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. Yarn over, knit 1, knit 2 together to end the repeat, knit 4. Okay, this is what it looks like after 21. I'll see you after 22. Row 22 is complete. We're getting ready to start on row 23. This is a very, very long repeat. I mean, the number of rows is, it's a lot, but we're almost to, starting with row 25, we're gonna be our last run of identical stitches that we've already worked before, or identical rows, I should say. And then we're done. So hang in there. For row 23, we start with a knit 5. We start off the repeat with a slip, slip, knit. I think that's new. Knit 2. Twice we will yarn over and then knit 2 together. Yarn over, knit 3. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit again. Sorry, I missed that was a twice. Yarn over and knit 2. Knit 2 together. And that's the end of our repeat. We're gonna knit 4 to finish off the row. We've completed row 23. I'll return after row 24. Row 24 is complete and we are at the 3/4 mark. Row 25 is going to be worked like row 9 that we did before. So that kind of shows you there's some weird pull on the side because we're accommodating the stitch that's beside it, or the leaf that's beside it that doesn't exist. But this is what you should have right now. Row 25 begins with a knit 5. And I must have been wrong about the slip, slip, knit starting the row because we get a bunch of them here. Okay, row 25, repeat starts with slip, slip, knit. Knit 3. I must not have remembered because it was so long ago. Yarn over and slip, slip, knit twice. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over and knit 2 together twice. Yarn over, knit 3, knit 2 together, and then that ends the repeat. Knit 4 to finish the row. And it does look a little wonky on the edge over here. Again, we're accommodating repeats that don't exist, but it actually looks pretty nice. If I can get this out here. It actually looks pretty nice on the finished product. And these will block out nice and even as well. Okay. So this is row 25. I'll see you after row 26. Row 26 is complete. Time to start row 27 with a knit 5. Slip, slip, knit, and knit 3. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. Yarn over, knit 1. Yarn over, knit 2 together twice. Yarn over, knit 3, knit 2 together. I'm always surprised when there isn't a yarn over. I feel like we punctuate everything we do in this pattern with a yarn over. And then that brings us to the end of the repeat. Knit 4 to finish the row. Row 27 is complete. I'll be back after row 28. Row 28 is complete, and now we're moving on to row 29. We're in the home stretch, guys. We'll start off with a knit 5. Every right side row forever. And then the first one we're going to get to on the repeat is a slip, slip, knit. Then knit 3. 2 times we're going to yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Yarn over, knit 1. Twice we're going to yarn over, knit 2 together. Ooh, that did feel tight. All right, there we go. It was right through the stitch. Yarn over, knit 3. And finish off the repeat with a knit 2. Knit 4 to finish the row. This is what it looks like after row 29. Just kind of looks like a mess by itself, if I'm being honest. You can see a leaf in the center, but this is all kind of crazy. All right, I'll be back after row 30. We'll see what we're closing in on. All right, row 30 is done. We're on row 31, which is our last right side row. We are going to start with a knit 5. Slip, slip, knit. Knit 3. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice. There we go. Whew. Yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 2 together twice, yarn over, knit 3, knit 2 together, And that's the end of the repeat. Knit 4 to finish the row. So this is what it looks like. You do have one more final row, row 32. So don't forget to do that one. That's on the wrong side. So it is, you know, just like we've been doing, knit 4, purl to the last stitch, knit 5, and that is it for the panel. Sorry, for the swatch. That is it for the swatch. For the panel, you've got to do these 32 rows 3 times total. So you'll work through them 2 more times, and that gives you 96 rows, but with your setup row, it's 97. So then you'll bind off and you'll be done. So this is it. It definitely challenged to keep track of, kind of weird to look at as a standalone, but I think quite pretty once it's worked, you know, side by side with other repeats. As always, I've provided the link to the written pattern below. You can follow that, and you can find it with these edges to fit our knit along, or you can find the standalone pattern if you wanted to put this on the back of a sweater, like a cardigan or something. You can use that to incorporate it into your next project. I do ask that you guys give me a like or a subscribe, because that really does help our channel grow and helps us reach other people who might be interested in learning this beautiful stitch. Other than that, I will see you next week for the final week of the Winter Stitch Sampler Knit Along. Bye.